Hi everyone, this is Crafty Decoria. I hope you're all doing great. So for today's Dollar Tree craft with me, I will be making a stove cover, I guess you can call it. And I will be doing it in the farmhouse theme. So for this DIY, all of the items that I'm using are from the Dollar Tree, with the exception of this stencil that I purchased from Essential Stencil. I'll post the link in the description box below if you're looking for some really good high quality stencils. I'm not sponsored by them to do this video, but I have purchased some of their stencils in the past and I absolutely love them, and so I want to share that info with you if any of you are looking for some really great stencils. Everything else from the Dollar Tree, I have 5 of the love signs. I have some white and black acrylic paint. I have some woodcraft cube beads. Now these are the smaller size, but I actually think I'm gonna go look for some larger size in my stash because I think they would work better. But nevertheless, just some woodcraft cube beads from the Dollar Tree. I have 3 of these wooden decor pieces. I have some painter's tape. I have these bamboo utensils, the fork and the spoon. And then I also have some gigantic craft sticks. And I believe that's about it, other than my hot glue. I don't even think I'll be using E6000 glue because being that everything is wood and this MDF, everything should glue well enough with the hot glue. So without further ado, let's jump into this tutorial. I hope you enjoy. So here I just went ahead and laid out how I'm going to be gluing everything together, just to give you an idea. So nothing is glued together yet. I've just taken my 5 signs and I've turned them over and I've butted them all up to each other. So with my 3 long decor pieces, I will be painting the insides of them with the black, and I will be leaving those black. But I'm going to be taking my gigantic craft sticks. As you see, I've done here, I've used 1 pack. You have 10 in a pack. I placed 5 on the left side and 5 on the right side. And the way I've done this is so that the 1 craft stick will join 3 of the signs together. So it's the first 2 and it goes up to almost halfway of the middle sign. So the middle sign is about right here. And I'm just going to glue those down with my hot glue. And then once I have those in place, I have to take the top and these decor pieces and bring them over to my stove, because with my stove I have the burners that are sticking up and there's a lip that goes around the stove. So I need to measure it so that these decor pieces, the one on the left and the right, are going to fit exactly in that groove. Now if you have a flat stove top, you don't have to worry about that. But with mine I do, so I really need to measure it. But I'm first going to glue these craft sticks in place, and then I'll go ahead and turn it over and just paint the other side with my white acrylic paint. I probably will also be adding some black to that to distress it to look a little bit more worn, but you'll see that as I'm painting it. And then once that has dried, again, I'll take it over to my stove top and measure out where I need to glue down my longer decor pieces. Now this one here in the center, I'm pretty sure I have a good gap that it should be fine right here, but these 2 I do need to measure them out. So I went ahead and painted the outsides of the wooden decor pieces. Now, if this is something that you might want to make for yourself, you definitely could just leave the writing. I think it would look really nice, being that you are going to see underneath the top of the stove cover. So that would be an idea, but I just decided to paint them black as I wanted something a little bit more plain. I only wanted my writing on top. So now I've gone ahead and laid out my decor pieces where I want them to sit on my stove. And doing it this way, I know that is going to fit exactly where I want it. So now that I have them in place, I'm going to take my E6000 glue and run a bead of glue along the top, and then I'm going to place my top piece here on top of the decor pieces, and I'm gonna let this dry overnight. I thought since it is nighttime right now, it would be the perfect time to just lay it on there, not touch it, and let it adhere nicely together. The next day and everything has dried, so now I'm going to work on covering up the holes at the top of the love sign. Now I'm going to be taking another couple packs of the gigantic craft sticks, and I'm going to be cutting off the rounded ends so that it's straight, just one straight piece that's going all the way across. And I'm going to do 2 rows on the top, leaving a space in between, and then to match it up, I'll do the same thing at the very bottom, and then hot glue those down. Flipped it over to the back, and being that I had some extra gigantic craft sticks, I decided to cut some up and then glue them in between the longer craft sticks here, just to reinforce the whole piece and to close up those seams where the love signs meet. And I find that this way, when I lift the whole thing up, it just feels a whole lot more secure. It still was fine without them, being that I then added those 2 strips to the top and bottom of the front. That really reinforced it as well. but because I had them on hand, I thought I would just go ahead and glue them on the back. So I've already done this side. I'm gonna finish up this side now. Okay, so I flipped it right side up again and taking some more gigantic craft sticks. Now, of course, this is another optional step. You can leave the front and back looking just like this. It would be fine, but I wanna go ahead and give it more of a finished look. So if you decide to do all the steps that I did, you would probably need about 4 packs of the gigantic craft sticks. So what I'm gonna do now is I've already gone ahead and cut off the ends again, and I'm just going to add glue to the top and then glue it to the edge of this to give it more of a finished look. And I'm gonna do this to the front as well as the back. So with all those ends that I cut off, I did cut little square or rectangular pieces, and taking these, I added some glue, and where the joints are, where the gigantic craft sticks meet, I just placed it in behind so that it would make them nice and flush and hold them nicely together. Also, I'm just going to take my hot glue and run a bead along this joint here just to secure the gigantic craft sticks to the rest of the piece and keep it nice in place. I'm ready to glue down my bamboo fork and spoon, and these are going to serve the purpose of handles so that when I want to lift my stove cover off, I can lift them from the fork and spoon instead of lifting it from the sides. So I do need to raise these, and to raise them I'll be using the Dollar Tree Woodcraft Cube beads, and these are the larger size beads. At the beginning of the video I showed you the smaller ones, but I was pretty sure I had a couple packages of the larger ones on hand. So I will glue down 2 of these cubes to the fork and the spoon, so 2 for each, and then I will glue that down to the top of the stove cover. And I'll be using both E6000 glue and hot glue to keep these in place. Ready to stencil. So I had said I was going to use my Market Fresh stencil by Essential Stencil, but going through my other stencils, I came across this 3-pack, and it has Welcome, Farmhouse, and Gather. So 3 separate stencils. Now again, it's not a sponsored video, but I do love their stencils, and I love to share what I find is great for any DIYs, and I definitely think that if you're looking for a high quality reusable stencil, then this is your website to visit. So with the three, I decided that I was going to use the Farmhouse stencil. So I've already taped it down with some painter's tape. Now I'm going to take my black acrylic paint, and using my cosmetic wedge, I'm going to apply the paint to the stencil. Now I find that the cosmetic wedge works best for me. I just apply the paint on the sponge, and then on a paper towel I take off most of the paint. So there's very little on there, and I try to hold down the stencil as best as I can, and then just lightly go up and down, stippling it onto the stencil. And I get very little bleed, if any bleeding at all. So that is what I use. Now, I would recommend that you, after you've stenciled whatever you want to stencil, if this is something that you're going to make for yourself, to go ahead and apply at least one coat, if not 2 coats of Mod Podge. Being that this is in the kitchen area, you want to make sure that it is nicely sealed so that if anything spills or splatters on top of it, that cleanup is really, really simple and you're not going to ruin your piece. Well guys, so here is my Dollar Tree stove cover, and I absolutely love this. I will now definitely say this is my new favorite DIY using Dollar Tree items. I love it. So here you can see that I have left the gigantic craft sticks just as they are. I wanted to show you how pretty it looks without staining or painting them. For now, I will leave this as it is. It still does really match in my kitchen because my floors are really close, a close match to the shading of these gigantic craft sticks. I was thinking about staining it at first to go along with this bamboo, as I do have some of that in my kitchen, and it is a little bit closer to the bamboo fork and spoon. But I just decided to leave it because it's working right now. But should I decide to paint this, I probably will end up painting it black. This way you have the black, the white in between, and then the black, and I just think that it will also go really nice in my kitchen. But whether you leave it as it is, stain it, or paint it, I think this is such a beautiful piece now to cover up my ugly burner cover rings. I mean, they're not terrible, but there is some areas where the gloss has come off, and now no matter how much I wipe them, they just always look dirty in that area. But now I finally can cover those up and have a beautiful top for my stove. Of course, hopefully one day I'll be able to change it out, but for now the stove is working great, and unless it's broken, I am not going to change it. So in the meantime, I will love my new and improved stove top with this Dollar Tree DIY. I am really glad that I ended up carrying those gigantic craft sticks down to the front, because it really does finish this piece off. Now I'll go ahead and show you the side. And I left the sides as they are. You can see the black decor piece there, but it doesn't look bad. And again, if I do decide to paint this black, it'll match even more, but still that black goes with the black acrylic paint in the Farmhouse, so it doesn't bother me. I think it looks great. But definitely, if this is something you want to make and you want to close off the sides as well, then that would look great too. The neat thing is if you don't want to use this as a stove cover at some point, this is something that you could also hang on the wall. Really, it's like a piece of art. And how beautiful would this look in a kitchen? So there is another purpose for this DIY, whether you use it on top of the stove and then change it up and then hang it on your wall. I think it's a great decor piece, a great farmhouse decor piece for your home, if that is the style that you like. Well guys, I guess that'll do it for this DIY. I am so pleased with the final results, and again, so happy that now I can have some extra space in my kitchen. I mean, I can use this as extra counter space when I'm not using my stove, or if I just want to, as I've done, place a floral arrangement and a candle on here. I think that it just looks so beautiful and cozy and very farmhouse, and I am so glad that I had the time to make this DIY. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this DIY. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, share the video if you can. It greatly helps my channel. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel and you enjoy the content that I'm sharing, then I hope you consider subscribing. I would love and appreciate it so, so much. As always, guys, you take care of yourselves, and I hope to catch you in my next video. Bye-bye.